Hi there, it's Elaine Lindsay from True Social Media, and we're just doing a quick little test hangout here to talk about lower thirds and what your options are for lower thirds. One thing, a little housekeeping first, Michael Hartridge, sorry about that. If you don't want to get the notifications, you're in control in Google+, so you can put me in a circle where you don't get notifications, or you can take me out of your circles if you so wish. Unfortunately, I don't control that end of it, and as you, I think you're in social media, I probably have you in a general social media circle. Which is getting this notification because I'm doing the testing. Part of what we did last week in testing was look at how you set your circles and how you set it up for Hangout notifications. If you have circles where you allow people to hang out with you, you will in fact not only get a notification, but the Hangout will be put on your calendar for you to do with what you choose. It's always good to go through the customization of the Hangout settings in your Google account, which is accessible from the top right gravatar. That account will give you all the settings for Google+, but it's really helpful for you if you don't like to get these kinds of notifications to be sure that you have your privacy set to invite only, and that way you're not going to get those notifications when you don't want to see them. So hopefully that helps. I see my cousin's watching from Scotland. Hi, hun. Big day yesterday. Don't know how you feel about the outcome, but I know my heart was hoping for a yes. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get back to lower thirds. As you can see, I have what's called a custom lower third here in the Hangout. And it's something that I made. If you have a graphics program, you can put together any kind of lower third that you'd like to see. If you don't have a graphics program, there is something called Hangout Magics, and they do make little lower thirds that you can use. They're actually very good. They do have a little branding on them from Hangout Magics, and I'll be sure and get the proper link for everybody when this is over. I'll put it on the event page if you want to go check that out. The lower thirds that I'm using, I just create them in Fireworks. It's fairly quick, fairly simple. What you need to know actually is the sizing of the window. So for the bulk of webcams out there, you have a window that is 640 pixels wide by 360 pixels tall. What that means is, you see the window. Those are the configurations for the entire window. What that means then is you'll see the information at the bottom, True Social Media, the Google+ sign, and my name are in about the bottom 100 pixels, and I started from the left in the PNG. It should always be a PNG because that gives you a transparency for the rest of the background, so you can actually show through the window. I actually have a number of lower thirds that complete the entire window, and those are used for if you've snuck out for coffee or if you've left your Hangout open and you're waiting for people to come. You can always put up a lower third that covers the empty space with a little message for the people that are perhaps coming in. If there's anybody who wants to come in, or if you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask. I have turned on the question app, but you can also ask the questions right on the event page, which is fine. Tina Cook, I'm kind of hoping you want to pop in. Would love to have a chat. Same with my cousin. Natasha, if you'd like to come into the Hangout, just give us a little notice. And I see Kara Riley and Armina Warham are watching too. So hi there. If you have any questions about lower thirds, or you have any questions about anything else to do with Hangouts, then feel free to go ahead and ask me. I'm literally playing around in here because I've added a couple of different lower thirds and wanted to check how they look, how they fit the window. And basically, I've taken my logo and put it up in the right-hand corner and left the business name and my name down at the bottom of the screen. You basically have all over the screen on either the left or the right side where you can put whatever you want. I've seen Brandy Swayze has a really nice setup for her lower third. There's a lot of different types of lower thirds you can have. It's very basic to have that bottom 100 pixels that you want to use, and I can show you that in fact for this is the lower third that most of us use. It gives you an idea of who we are and what we do. I'm also with University. I'm the Dean of Digital Media, so I have a lower third specific to that as well. When I'm doing so and I'm interviewing people online, this is the lower third that I use. The butterflies and the logo. Little shout out to my daughter. My daughter created the two what look like bees. They were actually hand-drawn creations with faces on them. And that's kind of what my this is another one here, the Women's Speakers Association, and this one I use when I do the WSA speaker spots. And it was created by one of the ladies at Women's Speakers Association. Jennings, who I'm not sure who you are either, but suggesting Michael should report me for spam. It isn't spam, actually, because I'm teaching a few things here in the Hangouts. It's for people's interest or their entertainment. If you're not interested, that's fine. As this is a user-based system, it's up to you to decide whether or not you want notifications. As I explained just a few minutes ago, Mr. Hartridge, Michael Hartridge, can actually take me out of his circles, or he could put me in a circle where he doesn't get notifications if he's not interested in learning anything about Google Plus or the Hangouts or anything to do with the Google products. That's absolutely fine, because it's educational. And because it's up to the user to use the notifications on or off, I honestly don't feel that it's spam, and I'll actually have a chat, send a note to Google and see what they think about it. Dawn Inbody, have a wonderful time with your wife for dinner. Christine, awesome to see you. Would love to have you pop in. And Tina, who is over in South Africa, I think, if I understand. Justin Hill, shout out, good to see you. I'm sorry you're having trouble with Hangouts. That's not great. And I didn't realize it was using so much of your bandwidth. That's definitely not fun. You might want to send a note to support for Hangouts and see if there's any way around that. If you can change the settings for you for bandwidth. And Roxanne, great to see you. Go team, you're at a high school football game. I think that's very cool. Blair, Warner, so good to see you. You should pop in for sure. I haven't seen you since last year in Dallas. I think we might have only been in one hangout since then. Happy to have you pop in. Oh, and Nazim, well, ciao. Have a good sleep, Nazim. Over in Italy, it's definitely a lot later than it is here. Anybody besides? Oh, Christine, I can definitely send out a few invitations right now if you want to pop in and check it out. It's nice that you can do any sort of lower third. You can do a basic, and I can turn off my custom and show you that the basic just gives you a place to either put your name, and below you can put your company or a call to action, or even in this case I'm going to stick in my Twitter handle. Now, one of the people that I chum around with in Google Plus made a really great suggestion. So you see here I've got my name on the top and my Twitter handle on the bottom. If you're doing a hangout and you want to be sure that people can either contact you on another social channel, or if perhaps you have a call to action, you're sending them to your opt-in list, or you're offering product or an ebook, then let me show you what you can do. It makes a lot more sense to put the information you want people to see up in the top line because it's a lot larger. People can always check on your name when they look at the hangout later, so you don't need to worry about it at the top. Twitter handle at the top and my name below that. And that's also a great way to use the Lowerthird. What's nice about this, it uses your picture from your Google Plus account and puts the information in there. You can change the stripe at the top. And basically, if you don't have access to any kind of imaging, if you are not really into graphics, or if you want to do a quick hangout on air and you're just putting it together very quickly, then you can go ahead and put that right there. And it's simply a matter of clicking it on. When you open the Hangout, at the top, your name will be in that top line already, and then the line below, if they suggest your tagline, or as I have here, my Twitter handle, but you can always put that in the top line, or if you were going to add a phone number or a call to action, you would go ahead and put that at the top, so it's a little easier for people to see. Style lower third that we had before, we just recently changed our tree of social is now slightly different, and that's part of why I wanted to try this out today. Quick question there. Yeah, Lowerthirds, again, I said they are through the whole middle of this lower third, so it's 640 by 360. It's basically transparent. You don't put anything in the middle because that's the room for you. And that's basically, that's all there is to it. It's actually fairly simple. Lowerthirds are great and really useful. Hi, oh, we had Blair for a moment there. Well, hopefully you can get back in. We'll just wait for a moment and see if he can pop in and check us out here. That would be really cool. I'm going to see if I can pop in an invitation to Tina Cook, although I think it might be a little later there. Hi, Blair. Where are you?
Well, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Keep talking.
Blah, 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 blah. I see you're driving somewhere.
I'm going to have to set the setting to where I can hear you.
Oh, good, good.
On this. Oh, there you go. Okay, now you're
all right. All right. Well, good to see you.
Yeah, long time no talk to. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I started doing these little testing hangouts because people were asking so many questions about, you know, how do I do this? Where do I find that? And last week we were testing actually the hangout settings, because a lot of people are finding that they'll set up a hangout and then people will come in that they don't expect, that they didn't realize had access to their hangouts. The reason for that is a lot of people don't realize that you have to customize the hangout settings.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and it's really important for people. I say you probably should set the bulk of your circles to invitation only, or by invitation, so that you don't end up with a calendar so full you have no room to put your own appointments on it.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, I mean, it's funny about these hangouts. I mean, once you get it, it's not hard, but there is, like you said, a few little things you have to be worried about. Yeah.
And because, you know, every few months we have some fairly decent changes here, there, and everywhere. It's always good to sort of give people another little heads up, and this is a great format in a Hangout on Air because I can now just direct people to go check it out if they want to find out that information rather than having to keep saying it over and over and over again.
Well, you did read that now Hangout on Airs and are open to non G plus
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
They don't have to have a G plus profile to join.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's really great because you've always been able to invite people. When I have speakers on my show, there are speakers that aren't on Google Plus. Makes life so much simpler to be able to bring them in.
Yeah.
You know, and have them interact with everybody as well.
I like your lower third. That's great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So what are you up to this weekend?
Well, actually, it's kind of this is homecoming weekend, and so two of my kids are in college and doing their own stuff, but I still have 2 kids at home in high school, and well, all 4 kids at home, but I have 2 kids that's still in high school, and my son is a freshman this year, and so he's going to homecoming for the first time.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting in the car. He's inside getting a haircut for night. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we have the Panda game this weekend, which is why is it called the Panda game, honey?
Yeah.
A panda was a prize? Or the mascot?
Not the mascot.
Oh, not the mascot.
Oh,
they used to play for a panda. A panda was the prize for the Ottawa University football, and they play against Carleton University, and there's quite the rivalry, so it's called the Panda Game. So it's like your homecoming weekend. It's our Panda Game weekend.
And they do that every year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same 2 teams, same rival team and everything?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just those 2 teams, right? Yeah, it's because it's the 2 universities or colleges that are in town. I guess that's why they're the only ones that get to participate in the Panda Games.
Wow.
But they do a lot of things. They used to do a lot of like shoe shines around town, raising money for different charities.
Huh. And what part of Canada are you in?
I'm in Ottawa.
Oh, you're in Ottawa. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was really a treat to see you down here in Dallas that time.
It was so nice. For people that are watching, I was in Dallas at the eWomen conference last year, and on the way down, I had mentioned to some friends, Yifat, let me yell out to Yifat. It's wonderful to have great friends who, she's in Austin, and my friend Lori Desautel is in Houston, right. And you are in Arlington.
Which is in the DFW Metroplex.
Yeah. And all of these people were so wonderful, and they came and we did what we call a hurl, which is hang out in real life in Dallas, which was really super because, you know, we don't always get to do that. So I've now hurled in Dallas, Las Vegas, New York, Toronto, and Windsor.
You have? That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's why everybody who's viewing this right now, they will. It seems like you and I know each other because we really do.
Really do. Yeah.
Hung out together online, but then we've had a hang out in real life, and so I mean, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's so different from everything else that's out there. Through Google Plus, I mean, you as well as myself and Don Inbody popped up on the event page and said hi. He's taking his wife out to dinner, so he's not popping in. And friends in Italy, my cousin in Scotland, they're all here watching, and it's just such a wonderful community because people are so supportive, and most people are really happy to be able to make those global connections.
Well, and what I like about it, I mean, Facebook, after Google Plus came out with Hangouts, Facebook tried to do video on their platform.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
No, no. And when they started it, it was more a weird kind of like hit and miss 30-second sort of dating app. People popped in and out of a room, and some people talked and some people didn't. And they started out as a very different animal than Google Plus, and I think that's part of the reason why this has taken off, because the original concept, you know, Vic wanted people to feel like they were on their porch talking to their friends.
Yeah.
And really, we've all become friends over the years, and I've hung out with, God, almost 100 people now. There were more than 70 of us in New York City.
Are you serious? That's amazing. I've got like 12,000 people that I'm connected with on Google Plus, but you know, you can't make really relationships with all, you know, if you have with all those people. But I bet there's about 100 out of those 12,000 that I know, just like I know you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's great. That's 100 friends I didn't have 3 years ago. Isn't that
absolutely, cool? Absolutely. And you know, we've got to say hi to Tom Finley as well, because he came to the Hurl, which was really nice. And it is. It's a very different type of community, and that's part of the reason that I'm more than happy to do these test hangouts, to help people with all the little bits, because sometimes it can be really frustrating. Justin Hill, who's in Britain, is having trouble with his bandwidth, and he's finding it a real challenge to do hangouts. And last week, Pio Delsin, who's been around forever, he stopped doing hangouts a little while ago, and had come back last week to say, yeah, there's a few things I'm just, you know, it's just not easy for me. So that's part of the reason that why I do this, and hopefully it's helpful. And I know that there's one person who wasn't thrilled that he got a notification, but I did mention the fact that it's up to us to decide where we get notifications from. It's not like Facebook, where, you know, I can unfriend someone. It doesn't really work that way. Yeah, and the fact is, it's not necessarily someone that I have in a circle. It's if that person has me in a circle. So it's not. It's more like Twitter in its asymmetric. It's not a two-way street. So sometimes it's a little harder to wrap your head around just how different the community is.
It really is, and you know, over the years, people have tried to say it's a cross between Twitter and Facebook, but I don't even know if that does justice to it. No.
And well, bottom line, okay, Google Plus is Google, and Google is search. Like, that's, for me, that's, I think that was sort of the final stamp of, oh yeah, this is fabulous. Because if you're going to be online, you want to be found, right?
That's right.
I mean, that's the whole point.
Well, and I've got to run, but I mean, the fact that I'm here mobile on my iPhone, connecting in with you, and then you're recording it because it's a hangout on air, and then, you know, I mean, this is just cool. This is so cool. So.
It certainly is. And Joanna Roach is watching too. That's somebody I know from Ottawa, which is very cool. Well, so lovely to see you.
Yes, I have to go because I have the money, and he's in there getting a haircut, but I have the money, so
that's important. Well, you know, best wishes to you and the kids, and I hope to see you again soon.
Oh yeah, of course. See ya. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that's kind of what it is, folks. People drop in, people drop out. Don't usually do these things on a Friday night because I just happen to have an extra half hour before I toddle off, that I thought I would do this because I was playing around making those lower thirds. Anybody has any comments on the lower thirds? That would be cool. Anybody have any other questions about the lower thirds? You can, love the new graphic, especially the dragonfly. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. You want a video. Amina. Okay, hello. That was very cool. Oh, that was Christine. Christine, thank you so much. You can pop in if you want, you know. The dragonfly is not new. He's just a little more prominent, I think, in this new social tree. You're just able to see him a little better. I think that's all it is. Now, I'm going to turn this off now. It's been a relatively short Hangout on Air test. I hope people got a little bit of information here. I'd love to see some other people's lower thirds. Make yourself a custom and do let me see it. You can always invite me to a Hangout if you'd like to show me. Or if you'd like to send me the image in a post, that would also be fine. I'm Elaine Lindsay of True Social Media. Make it an amazing weekend and be safe on the roads.